Hey everyone, this is Robin Stanley, and I'm here to talk to you about time management. After all, time is our number one asset, so we always need to be thinking about, what are we spending our time on, who are we spending our time on, and what do our daily choices look like? So that brings us into priorities. What are your priorities? Really think about that. Most people's priorities can be summed up into one of, 7 or 8 categories, and they just happen to all start with F in my list anyway. So there's family, there's friends, and some of these overlap. Faith, your fun, your free time, your finances, business, fitness and health, food and nutrition. These are all generally, the priorities that most people have. And not everyone is going to spend the same amount of time on each one. So time and commitment come in. Where are you spending your time, and where does your commitment lie? And the main thing that we want to talk about today is how much time do you have to build your business? So think about all your priorities, think about your goals, and think about realistically how much time do you have each day or each week to actually build this business. And that needs to align with your goals. So we've already talked about goals in a different video, but you need to align the two, and we can help you do that. Just reach out to us, and we can talk to you. If you want to get to Success Club 5 or 10, or if you want to make a certain amount of money after a month, or if you want to, reach any goal really. If you want to get to Emerald rank or Diamond rank, whatever it may be, we can kind of realistically show you what it would take to get there. So if you can only put in 1 hour a week, obviously it's going to take you a lot longer than someone who can put in an hour a day. So it's just all a matter of where your priorities are. So keep that in mind. And remember, when you make the commitment to go all in as a coach, that does not mean all day. So that doesn't mean 100% of your time, all your time has to go into building your business, being a coach. It is about thinking about your priorities. So we're not here to tell you you should be spending every single second of the day on your business, because that's not realistic. Which leads right into office hours. It's really critical to set office hours each day. Regardless of how much time you have, you need to have office hours. You'll hear a lot of people talk about a power hour. But some people don't necessarily have an hour to spend. So maybe you have power pockets. Maybe you have 15 minutes, here and there. But it's important to schedule that and to know, okay, I'm going to devote an hour to building my business each day. And whether that's an hour in the morning, an hour in the evening, or, a half hour at lunch and a half hour in the morning, or however you divide that up, doesn't matter. As long as you have that set, schedule it just like you'd schedule a workout. It's just as important. And then make sure that you take the time to do that. When you're setting those office hours, you don't want any distractions. So put your phone in airplane mode. If you see a message pop up, that doesn't mean you need to respond to it right now. You want to have no distractions. Shut the door. That's your time. You're setting that time aside. Just like when you work out. I know sometimes you work out and your kids come in the room. It happens. And it's going to happen with your business too. But do the best you can with your office hours and your power hour. No distractions. Have a plan. So when you're planning your day, I find when I don't have a plan, I'm a lot more likely to start scrolling through Facebook and liking a bunch of posts. But that is not going to build your business. Now, you do want to be reaching out to people, you do want to be building relationships, but just mindless scrolling through Facebook, just randomly, whatever comes up in the feed, is not going to build your business. You want to have some type of tracker, which we've also talked about in other videos, where you can track the people that you're talking with, who you want to reach out to next, where you're at with follow-ups, and then just, work down that list. Whether you're a list person or not, you need to have a plan. You need to follow the plan, because otherwise just distractions will come and you'll get caught up in it. Again, inviting is the most important vital behavior. So when you think of this time for your business, really focus on inviting. Now, that's not to say that you shouldn't be looking at the other 4 vital behaviors, because obviously personal development is huge. I mean, mindset is going to be big. It's going to help you out immensely in this business. And you want to have your physical health, so you want to take time to exercise and drink your Shakeology and be healthy, because that's going to give you the energy you need. So all of these things work together, and that's really amazing. But if you're not out there inviting, and by inviting I do mean, forming those relationships, building the rapport with people, reaching out both, through the computer, maybe through Facebook or whatever social platform you're using, as well as in person, depending on your personality and what you're comfortable with. And we'll get to comfort zones later. That's a different video. But you need to keep inviting and building those relationships. I kind of keep repeating myself. That's how important it is. Okay, next. Don't listen to your feelings. Probably wondering what I mean by that, right? Because of course you're listening to your feelings. What I mean by that is you need to do it whether you feel like it or not. Just like with your workout. You're not always going to feel like working out. Sometimes you might skip a workout. We'll give you a pass on that one, but you're not always going to want to work your business. You're not always going to feel like following up with people. You're not always going to feel like reaching out, but you need to do it anyway. You need to be consistent, and that's where the consistency comes in. Do it whether you feel like it or not. Okay, got it? You need to commit to the process. So again, that process of setting hours, being consistent, making your plan, following through your plan, and not letting distractions get in the way. That's how you're going to get ahead. That's how you're going to reach your goals. That's how you're going to see your business move forward. That's how you're going to succeed. And listen to your big why, not your daily feelings. So again, it's why are you doing this? Do you want to do this because you want to stay home with your kids? Do you want to do this because you want to pay for your groceries each month? Or maybe you just want to go out and spend a bunch of money on clothes and shoes and fun stuff. Maybe you want to have date nights with your husband. Or maybe you want to go on vacations. Maybe you want to save for retirement. Whatever it may be, regardless of whether or not you want this to be a full-time, career business or not, think about your big why. Why are you doing this? Because that's what's going to get you through the days where you're just not feeling it. You just don't want to do it. We all have those days, believe me. Even the most dedicated coaches don't always feel like doing this. But they get up and do it anyway. And that's why they're successful. And remember how many people you're helping. Because, I think that's one of the things we talked about when we talked about your why, is a lot of people say, I want to help people. That's my why. And, we want you to dig deeper than that. Obviously, you have your bigger why, but you always want to keep that in your mind as well, because that's what you're doing. You're helping people. When you're reaching out, when you're building those relationships, when you're connecting them to the health and nutrition and the exercise they need to live healthy, fulfilling lives, you are helping them. And that keep that in mind. That's the ultimate goal, okay? In addition to your big why, of course. Productivity. So you want your time to be productive. And we already touched on this a little bit, but stick with the basics, okay? A lot of people can get caught up in the fun stuff. And what may be fun for some person may not be fun for another. But what I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you some examples. So I personally think it's fun to come up with graphics. So or videos. So like Pick, Play, Post, or Word Swag, or there's some fun apps out there for your phone. You can put cool graphics together, different collages, you can put different wording with different coloring, and you can put borders, and you can get things just right. But ultimately, that's not going to move your business forward. Now, using those posts but it doesn't have to be perfect, and you shouldn't be spending a ton of time trying to get everything perfect. The important thing is to get it out there. So again, even wording a post, it doesn't have to be perfect. As long as it's from your heart, as long as you can just get your thoughts down and not make it one big blocky paragraph. Is that a word, blocky? I'm making it a word. As long as you can get your thoughts out there, that's what people are going to see. They're not going to be critiquing, every word. Well, some people might, but ignore them. They're going to be looking at the content of your post. So think about the content more than being a perfectionist. And I struggle with that because I'm a perfectionist. Because you always want to make the most of your time. And remember, this is a business of duplication. So we are fortunate in that, our upline coaches, our peer coaches, we're all here to help one another. We're not competing with each other. So if you see another coach do a really cool post on Shakeology, or you see something really creative, or you see a quote that just really speaks to you, don't necessarily recreate it. You can use a picture that someone else has created. I mean, they may have their, you don't want to post something with someone else's website information on it. You definitely don't want to share other coaches' information, because then if people click on that, they're going to go to the other coaches. But you can use graphics, you can use ideas, you can use that creativity to help you. So you don't have to duplicate everything. That's not what this is about. Use that information. We can all build off of each other, because we all have different networks, we all have different contacts, and we want to be there supporting one another. I know I find that if I'm just not feeling it, I don't know what to post, I'll go to some of my favorite coaches' feeds, and I'll look at some of the cool graphics they have, some of the quotes that they've used, kind of see the general message, and the ones that speak to me, I'll just go in and I will take that verbiage and put it in my own, like using WordSwag. It only takes a couple of minutes, and that way, I've gotten the idea, so I've duplicated the idea from another coach, but I put my own spin on it. And then I put my own words, my own thoughts. They may be similar because I may have really connected with what that coach was posting. So again, it's not necessarily that you can't use anything. You don't have to recreate everything, but just put your own spin on it. You want your creativity to flow out. You don't want to use someone else's words, because people are going to hear it. They're going to say, that doesn't sound like Robin at all. It doesn't sound like Rob. Who's talking to me? So you need to put it in your own words. All right. And don't necessarily try to do what everyone else is doing. So you may be following a coach that's been in this for 3, 4, 5 years, and you just think what they're doing is awesome, and you feel just pressure, and you just want to be just like them. You want to be posting just like them, and you want to come up with graphics just like them and quotes, and you just think they're so creative. But be okay with where you're at in the process. It's going to get overwhelming sometimes, and that's okay. I know I get overwhelmed easily, so I understand. But you can work through that, and we can help you with that as well. But you don't have to do it all. So as long as you're doing the basics, again, sticking to those 4 vital behaviors, that will get you there. And 6. I haven't been numbering these, so you're probably wondering, what is 6? Sacrifices. So bottom line, you will need to make sacrifices if you want to make this business work. We all have the same 24 hours in the day. So it's not like these top coaches have all this extra time. They have 5 more extra hours in the day than you do. Some of them may be working full-time business, and that they had to work to get to that point. But you're going to need to make sacrifices. For me, I don't watch so much TV. I used to watch a lot of TV, and I made the choice that I was going to, let go of some of those TV shows that really weren't adding any value to my life other than just a little entertainment, and I was going to work the business because I wanted to get to a certain point faster. So that was one of my big sacrifices, was TV. Now, that doesn't mean I don't watch any TV. I still use TV as some of my family time. I also chose to get up a little bit earlier in the morning. So I get up a half hour to an hour earlier because I like to put in a power hour in the morning. I feel that's when I'm at my best. And I used to sleep a little longer. But I'm really not feeling the difference. So if you can wake up a half hour earlier, go to bed a half hour later, depending on if you're a morning person or night person, can you sacrifice a little sleep? Can you sacrifice not watching as much TV or maybe not reading as many novels? Think about how you can best use your time. Just like with the personal development, when you talk about time management, listen to it in the car. Listen to it when you're getting ready in the morning. That multitasking when you can. I mean, obviously sometimes you're going to want to take notes and you're going to want to write down things that you're learning through personal development. But a lot of the time you can listen to it while you're doing something else. A great time to come up with posts is when you're exercising and you're drinking your Shakeology. Sometimes I find that's when I'm most creative. I think, I hear a quote maybe from one of the trainers, and I think of an idea, and it's great to, at that moment, put your post together. Maybe take a selfie with the TV in the background that you just did your workout, and then, it doesn't have to take a lot of time. It really doesn't. And if you need help with that, we can definitely work with you. But you will need to take time to do things now that you don't want to do, so that you have the time to do everything that you want to do later. I heard a quote that was similar to what I just said, but I don't remember it exactly. But basically, you're going to have to sacrifice some time so that later you have more time to do all the things that you've dreamed of, all the things that you want. So let your creativity go, and again, think about your goals and think about how much time you're going to have in the future to do all the things that you've ever wanted to do by investing this time now in some of the things maybe you don't want to do. I mean, maybe you would rather sleep an extra hour a night, or you'd rather watch Walking Dead. That just happened to air recently. Is it really necessary? Or don't watch a marathon of movies. Whatever it may be for you, I'm just throwing out examples, but just keep in mind that time is your greatest asset, and how you decide to spend your time is critical. Again, I love this quote from Jim Rohn. Days are expensive. When you spend a day, you have one less day to spend. Make sure you spend each one wisely. I love that because it's so true. I mean, how many times do you get through a day and it's like, wow, where did the time go? Or even a week or a month. It's like, where did all that time go? Like, what was I even doing? Did I even accomplish anything? So that's what I've got for you today. Hope you have a great day. And again, think of your priorities. Think of your time and your commitment. Don't always listen to your feelings. Do it anyway. Be productive. Think of your sacrifices as more of a futuristic goal that you're getting to. So have a great day, everyone. Bye.